Yo, what's up guys? NinjaNick333 back with another video from the Kirwan's Game Store League Cup. Celestial Storm, about a week before Philly, so all the deck lists are still bad, for the most part. We've got, round 4, I believe, I don't know. It's been like a week since I've recorded a video, I've been sick. You might be able to hear it in my voice a little bit. We got my boy Alan on the left. He is playing Buzzwole, Weavile, Shrine of Punishment stuff. And then on the right, we have my boy Marcus, guy, father of Brady guy, who we saw in round 1, playing the exact same deck Brady was playing. It is the Buzzwole, Garbodor, Shrine, Macargo, fun times, nonsense. We're going to see how this matchup goes. My personal opinion, the Weavile version is much weaker to the Garbodor version, just because the Weavile is straight up weak to the Buzzwole. So it takes double damage from pretty much everything there. And then the Garbodor has a much higher damage output. With the 4 items, can knock out a Buzzwole. With, let's see, 5, 6 items, it can knock out a Weavile with resistance factored in. The Weavile can only do damage based on the abilities your opponent has in play, so Marcus is probably going to try to cap out at 2 abilities with like 1 Oranguru, 1 Macargo. And then all the Garbs and Buzzwoles don't have any abilities. Maybe he'll have Diancie. So if he has the trifecta in play there, then the Weavile can take a knockout on anything with a one-shot, but otherwise it's probably only going to hit 100 at a time. So Marcus, he does have the Oranguru, which honestly I think out of the 3 abilities he wants to have in play is probably the weakest one. Maybe he didn't know Alan was playing starting off. Maybe he's not too worried about the Weavile anyway. I mean, even with all 3 in play, Weavile taking a one-shot, I mean, I don't, especially since Alan isn't playing the Macargo. Maybe if he knows that Alan isn't playing Macargo, I wouldn't even be worried about the Weavile, just because it like just purely lacks nearly as much consistency as Marcus's build. So Marcus can pretty much just draw whatever card he wants every turn, and Alan can't. Like Alan can draw cards with Oranguru, but it's not always the one he wants every turn. So we're gonna see how this matchup goes. Alan started the Lele. And he has Shrine of Punishments in play, so that it's just not in his deck, so that's cool. It literally does nothing in this entire matchup, so that's just 1 less that he has to Cynthia back into his deck and stuff, you know. He's got a fairly good setup with the Buzzwole on his bench and the Diancie. It's very unfortunate he started that Lele. The best thing it can do in this matchup is Magical Swap, because the Psywave attack just does not do anything. Psywave does like 20 times the amount of energy on your opponent's Pokemon, so it's just doing like 20 almost all of the time, and it's not even Psychic, so it doesn't double the damage. Although I do believe the Fairy-type version is much better because it can one-shot Rayquazas. But the Psychic one, just for the mirror, essentially, like it just does 40, and then the Buzzwole can just like 2-shot you, or 3-shot you anyway. So you're like 3-shotting them, they're 3-shotting you. It's just not even worth like attempting. Magical Swap is really good though, because Marcus is going to play Rainbow Energies, so that's extra damage going in play, especially if he like misses a knockout with Weavile or something, or he could like move damage around, knock out a Macargo, kill Marcus's consistency, and then just like kind of steamroll from there, you know. So I don't know. It could really go either way. I think Marcus is favored. As you can see, I'm not really commentating on what's actually happening in the match because it's just Buzzwole stuff. Like, he plays Acrobikes, he draws cards, he puts energies in play. Like, it's not, like, I don't know. I feel like this deck is, like, somewhat, like, I don't know. It's, like, I'd like to say autopilot, but, like, you have to know which card to put on top of your deck. And the mirror is just gross. So it's not, like, at all autopilot, but, like, at this stage in the game, it kind of is, because the Macargo's not even out yet. So as you can see, Marcus plays like 4 items, which is fine because Alan isn't playing the Garbodor. Alan just Guzmas to get his Buzzwole up front. It looks like he attached the unit energy to the Buzzwole. Now that's kind of big. You'd rather attach the regular fighting energy to the Buzzwole because you can only play for the unit, and you want to save those for the Lele if you want to Psywave, or you want to save it for the Weavile if you want to attack with that. So putting it on the Buzzwole is kind of huge that he missed that. As you can see, Marcus Kukwis, after putting a Rainbow Energy on his Garbodor that he just put into play this turn. So this Garb could potentially take a knockout, but I think Alan played, 2 items. I did watch this game before because I was a little interested in how this matchup goes. So, I believe he's at like 2 items or something. So with Kukui, that's like essentially the same thing as 6 items. So double that is 120. So he's not taking a knockout this turn. And as you can see, Marcus gets that Macargo in play. So now he can use the Smooth Over ability, stack his deck. Essentially, he can put 1 card right on top. Everything else is randomized though, which is kind of I like that they just say that you have to shuffle and then you put the card on top, because I know people are out there who would just like not assume that you shuffle the deck because, oh, it doesn't say it. So it does say it on the card. Pokemon is smart enough to write everything they need to on a card, because other games won't tell you to shuffle your deck even though you're supposed to because you searched it. It's like in the rule books, but it's not on the card. So there you go. Trash Lanch 120. Alan is probably a little upset. You can see him like on his face. He's like, what do I do in this situation? So he Cynthia's because he wants to draw cards, because he needs cards in order to do things, as most decks do. But I mean, right now he's eyeing down that Garbodor, and he's not going to be able to one-shot it. He didn't play a Kukui of his own. I honestly don't even know if Alan plays the Kukui, if I remember. But like Kukui would have been the play right there, because then he would have taken the knockout. He has the Diancie. Kukui would have gone up to 70. That would have been 130 total damage on the Garbodor. It would be dead and gone. But nope, he's going to Cynthia, so it's going to leave that Garb with 10 left after he uses Sledgehammer. And there you go. He just does that, and it's living, which is why I say the magical swap could potentially come into play later. Just because, like, that's really juicy. Like, if you magical swap that 10 damage from Buzzwole on the bench to the active, oh, that'd be crazy. But I mean, Psywave would just be more worth it at that point, right? Because you leave because then you can attack with 1 less energy on the Lele, and then you keep the 10 damage on the bench. But like, if there was a lot of damage, like on 3 Pokemon or 4 Pokemon or something, just like spread around, because you just like did a little Sledgehammer to 1 or 2 or 3 things. Then the magical swap could really just come into play, and you can just move like 10 off of everything and then put them on like 2 different guys and knock them out. Or you can just choose to knock something else out instead of the Buzzwole. Like, say you're off the Sledgehammer turn already and you got the Diancie, like you could knock out like the Diancie and the Oranguru and the Macargo or something, and like take a huge swing turn, just obliterate him from there. But as you can see, Marcus here, he goes and he plays his own Guzma after putting a fighting energy on this Buzzwole. He knows it's not going to get knocked out the next turn, so it's really safe to put that energy on there. He's really looking to swing around. Brings up the other Buzzwole, softens that up. So now essentially the Buzzwole on the bench is now neutered. This Buzzwole is in dangerous threat right here. So if Alan wants to attach another energy to one of his guys in order to swing around, he's going to have to attach to one that has 10 HP left, or he's going to have to attach to one active and hope that Marcus like whiffs an energy to swing around, but he has Macargo, so he's not going to do that. He's not going to whiff. He can't whiff. He literally cannot whiff. Unless he doesn't have like Acrobike or Kukui in his hand, and then I guess he could potentially whiff energy. So there you go. You just see the Sledgehammer. That Buzzwole's now at 60 damage. It's got 70 left. So again, if Alan were to Kukui the next turn, if Marcus whiffs this knockout, then Alan goes up a prize. I really don't like that Lele on his bench still. I would rather that be like a I guess a Sneasel, even though that's like prime target. Yeah, Sneasel wouldn't be bad on his bench right now because the Buzzwole is active, so he can't really like Guzma and knock it out in one hit. So that would be really safe to have that in play. Plus, there are 3 abilities on Marcus's side, so I don't know. So Alan has the room for one Sneasel right now. I would really like to see him be able to find one. Obviously, he hasn't found one if he hasn't put it down yet, right? He doesn't have a full bench, so he would just do that. He would see that there's 150 damage potential in play already. Marcus just, stacks his deck with the thing. He goes and he touches Rainbow Energy to the Trubbish, and then he instructs and he gets a Garb, and then uh, yeah, so 8, 9, 10. Hang on. I'm not sure if I like what Marcus did. I think it's fine what he did. Oh, yeah, because Marcus knows that like Alan's probably not going to knock him out next turn, right? So it's safe waiting one more turn, and then he doesn't have to. Yeah, so now he sets up the Garb. I think the play I would have made was to swing around, because 8, that's 100, and he already had whatever 50 on it or whatever, so that would have been a knockout with swing around. And he wouldn't have gone down to 4 prizes, so that wouldn't have really been too much of a threat. But now Alan is loading up this Diancie, because he's like, I have no other attackers, I need to load up Diancie. And Diancie is actually really huge right here, because the attack does like, I think it's like 90 and heals 30 from each Pokemon on his bench. So like, if these Buzzwoles live, and he can like Guzma up, like, I don't know, Rangaroo, knock it out, because of weakness, and then heal 30 off of all his bench Pokemon, that's pretty huge. So as you can see, he actually has an idea of what he's doing here. Marcus searches through his deck with the Smooth Over, stacks a card to the top, and then just takes the Sledgehammer knockout. So as you can see, Alan is probably going to put that Diancie. Yeah, because if he doesn't have like Guzma, he top deck Trine. Okay, I almost thought that was Guzma. Yeah, so since he doesn't have Guzma, he doesn't have a way to knock out the Oranguru, which would be really good right now because that like limits the ways that Marcus can draw into Smooth Over. And he just takes the knockout with the Diancie and he heals the damage. It just heals the damage. That's insane. It's just crazy. That's crazy talk. Knocking things out with a Diancie with a choice band on it. Also, that choice band attachment that is on the Lele from like a turn or two ago, I really think that should be on the Oranguru, because the second that thing dies, because like now it's attacking, right? So now it's a threat. Now that it's attacking, and Marcus could end up like 2-shotting, 3-shotting it, whatever, I don't know. The second it dies, another item goes in the discard. Whereas right now, the Oranguru, or actually more so the Lele, in my opinion, is probably the safest thing on his bench from getting knocked out. So I would like the item on there. Like, I know he wanted to like Cynthia or something, so he just put it down so it wouldn't be in his hand. But if it was on a different Pokemon, it wouldn't have the potential to go into the discard like it would on the Diancie. And I believe he did do it right after he attached the first energy too, or right before. So like he knew he was planning on attacking with Diancie. So here you go, Marcus smooths over again. He instructs, gets the Guzma. He's playing right around that Diancie because he knows he wants Alan to take another knockout so that he can just sledgehammer this Diancie in one shot if he can. So that's why he Guzma's around it. Plus the 90 from this right now, it's not going to make too much of a difference. Marcus wants to go up on prizes against Alan. It's a one prizer race, so he wants to make sure he wins it. So if he can take a knockout before Alan, he's going to try. And he's got 2 Garbs loaded up. Oh man. I think there's still only 2 items in Alan's discard, but who knows? I haven't been counting. It's hard when you're the one commentating or watching to track the item count. Although Marcus actually he does have that dice. I'm gonna point it out if I can. So right here, that's the item count for Alan. So Marcus is keeping track of that. So that is 2 items in Alan's discard pile. So I am correct. There's still only 2. Just got bopped by a Diancie for 90 damage. All the damage is now healed off of that Tapu Lele. That's kind that's kind of crazy. Still recovering. See, I think Marcus is smoothing over again. Let's see. Let me try to predict what he's going to put. Something good. He's going to put a good card on top of his deck, right? I don't play this deck. I don't know what's good. I hate this deck. Personally, I hate this deck. I hate decks like this. Like, I like the concept of it, but it's like, there's just so much going on. You got the Buzzwoles with the Diancie and Fighting Energies, and then you got Rainbow Energies for your Stage 1 Garb, and then you have to set up a Stage 1 support Pokemon in Macargo, and then you also have to have a Oranguru. Like, there's just so many moving pieces, and I just literally just like putting a Zoroark in play, and then just trade, and then draw cards. Like, that's what I like, personally. I also like just like rare candy. I just like Sylveon magical ribboning into a whole bunch of rare candies, rare candy guardy, rare candy guardy, rare candy guardy, and then just like secret spring like 4 times in a turn and just bop them. That's kind of my playstyle too. Just loading one thing up with a whole bunch of energy and taking a one shot because because I always say I'm bad and I just like to play autopilot decks. Ooh, like Rayquaza. Ooh, you put rare candy Vikavolt into play and you just load up a whole bunch of energy and you blow them up. I don't like intricate decks where I have to think. So it looks like Alan is contemplating what the heck he's going to do this turn. He literally has no idea. Looks like there was a unit energy now on his Lele. I should pay attention more. He's going to Nest Ball, which puts the item count up. I think he moved the dice for Marcus, so good guy Alan. Gets another Buzzwole in play, because he really needs another Pokemon in play that's an attacker. He probably doesn't want to get Sneasel because he doesn't have a unit energy because he already attached to that Lele the last turn. And he only has the... Oh no, he has another unit in hand. I don't know. I would have gone for the Sneasel. Personally. Let me think. Yeah, I would have gone for the... No, because he wants to retreat and attack this turn, I guess? Okay, because Marcus is on Sledgehammer turn. Yeah, so Marcus is at 4 prizes, so he can take a one-shot with that. Although the Buzzwole only had 1 energy on it, I still felt like I would have been safe two-shotting with the Diancie while setting up a Weavile. But I don't know. Then again, Alan's gonna go on to his Sledgehammer. Yeah. Plus that he's on his Sledgehammer turn, right? Marcus doesn't want to waste a full-powered Sledgehammer on something like Weavile, like a Sneasel even. So I don't know, but he would. I guess he would. He probably would have a way to get a Guzma, and he would knock out the Sneasel. I don't know. I still would have done it different. I don't know if my version is better or what Alan did was better. Alan probably did the right play. He's played this deck for all of 2 games, more than me, so. Nah, I played this deck like 5 times. I just don't like it. I don't like thinking. So as you can see, that thing got blown to smithereens by a Garbodor, because there's a lot of items in his discard pile. So again, that's another reason, like, there's so few items in it that they can't one-shot you with Garb with the Sneasel, and you can just knock out, because you're doing 150. But then again, Alan didn't really have a way to get the Weavile, like, so if he got Sneasel, he wouldn't have a way to get a Weavile, because all he has is Instruct, and he has too many cards in his hand. So it's like, I would have liked to see a Weavile, but I don't think there was any realistic way of having it happen. So here we go. Put the second unit energy on this dude. And it's about, and it magical swap, took knockout. Whew. Crazy. Look at that. Look at that. It's insane. Magical swap 2 OP. Alright, so Marcus is going to come in here. He's going to smooth over again. What are you gonna grab, Marcus? Something good, I'm sure. Yeah, I totally didn't see that. It's very hard. The way the angle the deck is like, I just can't tell what it is. So he acrobikes, he discards the card he did not choose, and it was Rescue Stretcher. Oh, okay. They're gonna Rescue Stretcher, put Garb Trubbish, probably another Buzzwole. Yeah, he didn't have enough. Okay, so he's going to put those 3 in his deck. He wants to stream Garbodors at this point if he can. I think he has... So there was a rainbow on each of the Garbs, and then he played a rainbow on his first Buzzwole earlier in the game, right? Or no, maybe he put 2 rainbows? Is Marcus out of rainbows? I think Marcus is out of rainbows, honestly. That might be good for Alan. Alan's going to put that choice band again down on the Lele, which is... so I would have agreed with putting it down on the Lele earlier when I thought I wasn't going to attack with it. But now that I'm attacking with it, and now it's a threat for Marcus to knock out, I would not put the choice band down on it, because now it's going to get trash allianced, and it's going to die, and the item count's going to go up to 4. Which is going to one-shot all Buzzwoles, no matter what. So, I don't know, Alan. I would have put it on an Oranguru. And Alan's going to Beast Ring. So here's another reason why this deck is bad against Garbodor, is he plays Beast Ring. Looks through his deck and says, I have no basic fighting in here. What do I do? So at that point, I would just scoop. Personally, I would just be like, you know what? I'm not winning this game. Let's go to game 2, save some time. I just put myself up to 4 items for no reason and didn't get any benefit from that. There I am in the background, looking gorgeous as heck with my Pokemon Worlds backpack, and now I'm off screen. So go back a few seconds if you want to see that. Right behind Alan, I was. Yeah, Alan literally has no idea what he's going to do right now. I would just scoop my dude. He hits it for 20. Okay. Yo, you're getting knocked out this turn, Alan. What are you doing? Marcus is going to go to 2 prizes while you're at 3 still. Just don't like that. Just don't like that. There's nothing else he could do, though. Magical Swap would have literally done nothing. There was no damage in play. I don't know. He couldn't retreat into the Buzzwole because then it would have just gotten knocked out. So it's like, every way you look at the board right now, there's no way Alan can win. There's literally 0 way. He can't Sledgehammer for a one-shot. He has no way to... He literally has no way to one-shot any of Marcus's stuff, and he has a Garbodor. There's literally no way Alan can win. 0. Scoop, go to the game 2. So he's going to put up this, oh, okay, I thought he was going to put up the Sneasel. He has the Weavile in his hand, so he can, like, that's his win condition right now, right? Getting a unit on a, Weavile and sweeping. So he could knock out, so he would have had to promote that, put the Weavile down, instruct, for 1 or whatever, into, a unit energy, and put that down and attack, right? But Alan's already used 3 unit energies, because he put the first one on the Buzzwole earlier in the game. He put and he put 2 on that Lele, which just died. So I don't know. Is he going to get that last unit energy? Is it prized? Is he going to actually have a way to draw into it without Macargo? And as you can see, here's a fighting energy going on to the Weavile. Feels bad, man. And he's going to hit for 50. So Marcus is probably just going to stack a switch to the top of his deck, draw into it, and then one-shot him with a Garb. Or, actually, no. What he really wants to do... So he wants to Guzma switch this turn, because he has no way to get another Buzzwole on his bench, so he needs the switch. And he needs to Guzma up that Weavile. If he does not Guzma up this Weavile, and Alan actually gets the unit energy, Alan can knock this Buzzwole out, and then he can not get one shot by a Garb, take another knockout, goes down to 1 prize, and then Marcus really has to have a follow-up attacker to that. And at this point in the game, it's looking a little scary if Marcus can set up 1 more Pokemon to attack. If he did put Rescue Stretcher or Buzzwole back into his deck. I don't think that's the one that he has in play. I think he had that already. I don't remember. He likely has access to 1 more Buzzwole. And at least 1 more of some type of energy, right? So that would be Marcus's win condition is get 1 more Buzzwole into play. So here we go. We see a Guzma, and he's going to Trash Avalanche, knock out the Diancie. that's actually pretty big too, because now Alan can't hit for 50 with Buzzwole. He can only hit for 30. So Alan right now needs a unit energy on this Weavile. If he does not do that, there's zero chance he can win. And he's going to judge. So that's actually kind of good, because he can take those dead cards out of his hand and have a chance to draw into something better. Especially since it goes to 4, if he can play out one or two of those cards, he can then a couple of those cards he can instruct, and then just it like maximizes the chances he can right now. And he does not get the unit energy, so he knows there's no chance he can win, and he scoops. So that was actually a really good attempt. I kind of gave him some crap for not scooping earlier, but it was much closer than I was making it out to be. This matchup is just gross. It's really the weakness on the Weavile being fighting is what makes this such a bad matchup. Even though I do think it resists the Garb, that's why I say like 6 items or whatever in order to one-shot. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it resists Psychic just because it's a Dark type. So as you can see, Alan's face is really red. That is not out of embarrassment for losing. I mean, it's actually because those like lights that are on him right now are like ridiculously hot. So it's way cooler. Like even though the lights are pointed on both players, to like make this stream look as beautiful as it does. Shout out to Kirwan for making a beautiful stream. But the lights are like way less intense on the right side because that's the one I end up playing on in I think next round or whatever. But the ones on the left, like those are hot. It's hot on both sides, but it's hotter on the left. And especially if you see like on the like the actual like gameplay screen, like Alan's face doesn't look really red. But on the face cam, it looks way redder because I think it's just something about face cams. Like even my face right now, if I go into my bathroom and look in my mirror, my face isn't red at all, but it's really picked up as red on the on my webcam here. So I think that's another thing to it too. So like number 1, super hot. I got a light on too. Number 2, yeah, cameras and lights. I'll do that to you. So Alan just attaches an energy. Lily's after putting I think Shrine in play to get it out, and then that's about it. Marcus is gonna Ultra Ball away a Cynthia, so that means you know he has another supporter in his hand. He is going to search his deck. Oh, it looks like he's eyeing up the Diancie. That's pretty good right now. Doing 50 is always better than doing 30. Especially if you can start doing that early. He can attack on his first turn since he's going second. So So Diancie's probably the best thing to get into play right now, even though you want Slugma, so that you can evolve the next turn. There's Chris Psychalla there in the back, watching this matchup play. Probably think to himself, wow, this matchup is super gross. It is. Like, so many people just brought this deck to this tournament. Because literally people found out about it the night before this. So they all built it. They all built the Weavile. Marcus was the only one to take the Weavile out, put in Garb, because it's better. Like, he just knows. Like, Marcus is a smart guy, and he knows how to break the meta. So he knows Garb's better. So that's why he did that. Weavile's still good, though. I mean, like, if you're going to hit Rayquaza all day, you'd rather have Weavile. It's just, Garb's just overall a better card, again, in multiple matchups. So he just hits Alan for 50, and he does end up getting that Slugma in play. So that's super good. That's like probably the best turn Marcus could have ever hoped for a turn 1. Would have been a little better if that was a basic fighting on his Buzzwole, but that's okay. I mean, he'll still have 3 more for Garbs later in the game. Alan just attaches energy to his bench and Cynthia's. Attaching to the active would be pretty bad. because he knows it's just going to get like 2-shot, so maybe you can go up a prize, but then you lose all that energy. I don't know. So he's got 2 Weavile in play now. So if Marcus wants to bench Oranguru, he's going to be one-shot by these Weaviles, right? But it looks like Alan plays the Sudowoodo with the Roadblock ability that says my opponent's bench is only 4 cards instead of 5 Pokemons. So I actually don't agree with the Roadblock. I think you want to have Marcus put the Oranguru on his bench so that your Weavile's OHKO. Like, I think that's... Personally, I would not put the Roadblock into play. Just because I would want to bait. Like, I think Marcus is smart enough to maybe not put Oranguru into play, especially at this stage in the game. Like, you want to go up a couple prizes before you have 3 Pokemon with abilities in play. So I would have wanted to bait Marcus into it. I don't know if he would have fell for it, but I feel like that Sudowoodo is just not really doing anything in this matchup right now. So I would have just held it. Maybe it's better. Maybe if he was going to Cynthian next turn, then bench it just to get it out of his hand. He's got enough attacker potential in play. But I also would have liked that bench space to be an Oranguru, so when he plays his cards out, he can draw and stuff. So it looks like Marcus smoothed over, and then Acrobiked discarded the ever unimportant choice band in this matchup, which is probably the perfect thing he could have discarded off of this Acrobike in order to draw the beast energy that he stacked to the top so that he can finish off this Buzzwole. Perfectly played by Marcus. That's putting Alan in a super gross position right now. He's not on the Sledgehammer turn yet, so his Buzzwole can't knock out this Buzzwole most likely. He's doing 50, right? So 6. So he's doing 110, right? And Strong Energy is no longer in format, so he needs to Kukui this turn, and I don't think I've seen a single Kukui from Alan this entire match. I think he built this deck without a list and just like kind of tried to figure it out on his own. I tried to make this deck actually like the week before. Like I was trying to, like I had the idea in my head. I'm like, well, I heard that Buzzgarb Shrine that was played at Worlds, right? Like that seemed really good, right? But what if you put Weavile into it? That card's really good. And I just couldn't get it to work because I was doing all 3 pieces and I didn't put my Cargo into the deck. So I was doing like, I think it was like 2/2 Weavile with 2/2 Garb, 4 Rainbows, 4 Unit, and 4 Buzzwole, and no Macargo, and just hoping I drew into things, and it couldn't work. So it was a bad time. Macargo makes the deck work. I really like the winning list of Philly that ended up with the 1/1 Weavile. I think that's pretty decent. And the counter energy, I never thought of counter energy. That's really good too. So as you can see, he does pretty much nothing with his turn. Goes on to Marcus's turn. Marcus attaches another energy, and now he's gonna swing around. So that is the beautiful part of this right now. So he swing arounds with Beast Energy and Diancie in play, and that's a one-shot. That's a one-shot. Plus, he doesn't really lose anything by attaching that fighting energy, because that fighting energy, the only thing he can really get use with would be to attach it to the Diancie, and that needs 3 energy to attack, all of which are fighting. And then the Garbs have to attack with rainbows, so there's really no downside. Plus, the Garbs are 1 energy attackers, so if he doesn't get one into play until the next turn, then he can just rainbow and attach. Though the Roadblock actually is coming into play right now, because Marcus would have really liked to bench another Buzzwole if he could have, knowing that there's the threat of that Weavile in play. And unfortunately, again, as you can see, the look on Alan's face, he's really disappointed, as our boy Nick Moffitt, who got 11th place at Philly, is looking on a bit from the sidelines. No unit, so he had to attach a fighting. I think if I were him, I would have Cynthia'd before attaching and just hoped, or no, or no. He's gonna use the other attack. Actually, that's fine. He's gonna use the other attack, put him to sleep and do 10, which is 10 short of a knockout. And then Marcus just wakes up. He's like, I don't care. He's like, that's not relevant. I'm just gonna swing around again, knock you out. Actually, he could just sledgehammer, knock him out. And I think again, Alan only has two items in his discard pile, so that whiff was super impactful. If he had the unit energy there, took the knockout, the Garb would come up and just do 20. And then he would do 100. And then the Garb would do 20. And then he would do 100. Garb's knocked out. Another Garb comes out. 20. So until although that would have still given Marcus enough time to load up another Buzzwole, get one onto his bench. He has the smooth over. So I don't know. I don't know if it ends up mattering. I think Alan's still in a pretty rough spot. He gets the Buzzwole though, and he does the thing and knocks him out. Although now he's only at 5 prizes, while Marcus is down to, I believe, 3. So I mean, he's down by 2 prizes in a 1 prizer trade, and that's just gross. Like, Alan has to like really hope that Marcus like whiffs some stuff, and that he draws super well in order to take this swing back in this game. Unfortunately, Marcus's Macargo just makes his deck way too consistent, and that little Weavile is fighting weak. So here we go, Sledgehammer for 100 because of Diancie and weakness. So going down to 2 prizes this turn. I believe he's using the smooth over now. I think he had everything already in his hand, and so he's just gonna prepare for next turn, maybe with a Kukui, because you could always smooth over. Like on a turn you don't need anything, you can always smooth. He almost puts it on his hand by accident. That's a really easy mistake to make, just because you're so used to searching your deck for cards, putting them in your hand, like with things like Ultra Ball and stuff. He almost puts it into his hand, but now he's like, oh, no. This goes on top of my deck for next turn. I would like, putting Kukui onto his top would be really good, because then that boosts your damage output, and then if you do need something the next turn, you can just Kukui and get it. Or maybe, actually, no. What might be better, depending on what's in Alan's discard pile as items go, would be Acrobike, because then you could Acrobike into a Guzma next turn, if you were to want that. So, like, yeah, Acrobike would be really good, right? So he puts Acrobike on top, and then next turn, he can decide what his smooth over is, and then Acrobike into it. Maybe Marcus already has Acrobike or something, so he's just going to put, like, maybe Guzma on top or something, I don't know. Alan puts up that Diancie. Guzma's up the Macargo, and he's going to try to 2-shot this Macargo with Sledgehammer. So he's going to really hope that Marcus does not have any way to retreat. If I were him, I would have put Acrobike or Guzma onto the top of my deck. So, I think no matter what, he has a way to get Guzma this turn, but that was really Alan's only play right now. He can't one-shot a Trubbish. That would just bring the one, essentially, with one of them active, and there would be a threat to evolve. So, plus you really do, again, like, he doesn't have the Oranguru in play, because the Roadblock actually is being super impactful. And here it is. Here is the Acrobike, discarding a Choice Band yet again. Marcus to OP. Alan, you gotta cut better. Alan did cut. It just happens to be the card it was. And here we go. Guzma. Sledgehammer for 100. Alan's like just ready to just accept his defeat, and puts it in the discard pile, and Marcus is like, that's not a knockout, that's 100. And Alan's like, oh yeah, you're right. You're not on Sledgehammer turn. So essentially just kind of doing the same strategy Alan played on him the last turn. So like throwing it back in his face. So now we go Guzma, Diancie. Now, I don't know. I don't know if I like that. I think I would have just gone for the Macargo. Knocked it out. Yeah, I would have gone for the Macargo, knocked it out. I think at this point now he just kind of hopes to deck out Marcus and hope he like prized his Guzmas or something. I don't know. I just don't feel like that's actually something plausible. I would have taken the knockout on the Macargo and just hoped that that made his hand bad enough to where he couldn't do anything. But he's actually had quite a few turns now where he could just, at least two or maybe even three, where he could just like kind of just go into whatever he wanted. So, feels bad, Alan. Sorry, bro. This matchup has proven to be quite a bit one-sided, unfortunately. Marcus puts it on top. He kukuis straight into that card, and it was Switch that he decided to put on top. So he is going to switch his way out of there, put up the Garb. How many items are in Alan's discard pile? It looks like still 2, according to that die that's on there that we can't really see. Yep. So he kukui'd, right? So there's 2 items still in there, and the kukui again just made it essentially 3 items and made him do 120. He's gonna Tate and Lisa doing the switch effect. Oh, oh man, Alan. Oh man, Alan. Oh man. Oh man. That's actually good right there. But I mean, Marcus could kukui again and do another 120. I don't think, yeah, I don't think Marcus has any way to spread damage. I don't think he's playing the Tapu Lele promo. Or the, whatever it's called, the little mini Tapu Lele dude. Fairy or Psychic. I don't think he's playing either of those. So he can't, like, move the Oranguru damage off and take a double knockout. That would be insane. Marcus is going to smooth over again. Get whatever card he wants. Smooth over is really good. We see a Kukui. It was Guzma that he put on top of his deck, I think. Puts a Rainbow Energy down. Just does 120. So now all of Alan's best attackers are 10 damage or until they're dead. Judge is really good right here, actually. Getting rid of Marcus's good hand. If that Macargo was dead already, right? And he, so I think bringing up that Diancie and not killing the instead of the Macargo a second time, I think that was a pretty big mistake on Alan's part. Just because now that Judge would have been super impactful. Marcus could just like brick from here. But again, like all he needs is a fighting energy and he can swing around. So I don't know. I think that would have been the best way to try to come back into the game. But I also think you need a Weavile in play too at this point. So I don't know. It's like Weavile still does 100 also only, so I don't know. There's no way Alan can load up a swing around, and if he does, it's just too close to a knockout. Marcus is far too up on prizes. Alan is essentially just playing it out, hoping and praying. If this was game 1 playing out like this, I think again, you just scoop. Especially at this point, 5 prizes to 1. Even with Magical Swap, there's going to be another Garb in play. There's going to be another Buzzwole in play. There's only so much you can do with this Magical Swap. There's 100. This one 10. 2, 210. 220 in play? It's 6. Yeah, 220 in play. So he can... So we haven't seen a Beast Energy from Alan, correct? So I think the best way to win... I don't know. I really don't know. I think the best thing you can do right now is to knock out the Garbodor and the Buzzwole. Because the Buzzwole has 2 energy on it and it can swing around for 100 without flipping any coins because of the Diancie. And then the Trubbish, And the Trubbish doesn't yet, like, the Trubbish could evolve into a Garb, but you can get rid of the one that's guaranteed to be a Garb. Huh. Yeah, I would knock out, I wouldn't, I wouldn't have knocked out the Trubbish. I would have knocked out the, well, no, there wasn't enough damage in play to do that, right? You were to, because that would be 1 to 200. Yeah, that would be 250. You would need 250 in play in order to take the double knockout there. So yeah, the Trubbish was correct. So now you kind of just hope that you can find a way to knock it. I would have moved all the damage off of the Diancie and kept it onto this Garbodor, just to make it easier to knock out later. Although maybe maybe Alan left that 20 on the Diancie with the thought of getting another Weavile into play, hitting it for 100. But I just don't think that that's something that can be done. At this point in the game, having 2 turns to set up an evolution that's weak to fighting, and he gets the Regirock into play too, so like Regirock Energy Guzma would just knock out a Sneasel. And he already has damage on his Oranguru, so he doesn't even, like, it's just, there's just so many things that Alan has to prevent. So, R.I.P. Alan. Everyone in the background is saying R.I.P. Alan. For the record, Alan owes me $25, so he deserves this L. Sorry, not sorry. Marcus is that good. He deserves the win. But unfortunately, like, I don't know. It just like, I don't know. Like, I feel like they both deserve the win, except Alan owes me money, and Marcus doesn't. So and Marcus's deck just has way better of a matchup against Alan's. So that's how I wanted this to play out. So, R.I.P. Alan. Good job, Marcus. Marcus is probably, yeah, I think this guarantees Marcus top 8. Because he can just ID the next 2 rounds. Because he's at, this is round 4, right? So he's 4-0 out of 6 rounds. He can just ID the last 2. And he makes it in. Alan can win 1 more in ID. And then he's in. So that's cool. So Alan still has a chance to make top 8. Which I actually believe he does, if I remember correctly. So Alan's just going to try to retreat and pass. And I guess he's just going to, I don't know what he's hoping to do. And there it is. There's the Energy Guzma. So definitely a good attempt by Alan. I think he probably played that perfectly or near perfectly. But unfortunately, Marcus also played that perfectly. And the fact that his deck just has a naturally, like, ridiculously good matchup against Alan's is what gave him the favor in this matchup. So good game for both of those players. I will be back next round with a matchup of myself, with Rayvolt versus Zoroark, Lycanroc, Weavile. So Rayvolt is going to have a bad time against that, because that Weavile is like kind of going to come up and it's going to do things, and Rayquaza is going to cry. But we'll see. Do I manage to pull it out? Maybe I do. Who knows? The matchup is actually way closer than you would think it would be. So we'll see if I end up winning that one or not. It's going to be a fun time. You're going to see me show you some fun faces in the camera. So, yeah. So, congrats to Marcus, and I will see you guys next round.